So why would people be waking up now and not after January 6th? I'm Danielle, a scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership, and the author of Uncultured, about growing up in the Children of God cult and then going into the U.S. military. I have a master's degree from Harvard in organizational psychology, and now I'm working on a book called The Culting of America, and I'm looking at all of this stuff. You can get autographed copies of Uncultured attached here. I think that the reason that a lot of people didn't wake up after January 6th is like almost comparable to the people that still think that, the Civil War, like the South was in the wrong, or the South was wronged, right? I think that a big battle makes them feel like they were doing something, like they went out and they actually fought on behalf of their cult, or they vicariously fought through the people that were there. A lot of people did wake up after January 6th, actually. I literally think I got a book deal because of January 6th, because I was like, oh, everyone's going to be asking what's going on right now. And I have a cult book right here. But a lot of people double down harder. And this is completely in keeping with cults, right? So there was a man named Leon Festinger in the 50s who embedded with a UFO cult. Cults always promise space travel. And they had a predicted apocalypse on December 21st, 1954, I think, or 53. And obviously from the outside, he knew it wasn't going to happen, and he wanted to see what happened. And he hypothesized that not everybody was going to go home. And that flew in the face of what we understood about human psychology and rationality at the time. Sure enough, right? Day comes and goes, apocalypse does not happen. It's almost like there's too much pent up energy, I think, for it to just go away. Like they're wishing for the apocalypse at this point. They are hoping that the final destruction comes because they need to be right. And sure enough, what happened was like about 50% of people were like, this is, guys, not real, and went home. But another 50% of people not only stayed, but doubled down harder, both in their commitment to the cause and in their recruiting efforts. And this, of course, is because, again, they need it to be true. I call these people the Rudy Giulianis, right? Like, he's never going to be known as America's mayor again. He's going to be that old dude out in front of Four Seasons Total Landscaping with dye running down his face. So he has to go down with the ship. And I do see we will see a contingent of that no matter what happens. But I think that with something as big and climactic as storming the Capitol, fewer people are going to wake up, even though they lost. Because persecution, or like the little guy fighting the big guy, is one of the best things that can happen to a cult and a cult leader. And part of this also is because it is built in through Christianity into American psychology that if they're persecuting you, you're on the right track. So even though they showed up and committed a terrorist attack at the Capitol, they don't see it that way, right? They see it as a holy battle in this holy war that they are fighting. Now, if their leader just doesn't win the last election, he really has a possibility to win. I think it's much more likely that we're going to see people just like quiet quitting MAGA and trying to go back into, the things they cared about before this became their all-consuming passion.